Hey guys, welcome back to Hawkeye Scanner. Today on this video number 20, I'm going to review everything that we have, actually at the end of the day yesterday. Now remember, we had Super Jerome coming in and saving the day. Now, it's not about uncertainty anymore. We know what's going to happen, so we might as well just enjoy the party while it lasts. Let's jump in and take a look at everything we have. Names that you know, but names that from this point, if the market's just going to keep rattling, you might as well trade following the map, the volume map. And of course, I'm going to share with you my best ideas as far as short-term call options and the probably 60 days opportunities. All right, you ready? Let's do this. So I'm just going to minimize here. And remember, before I continue, remember, you can always visit us at HawkeyeTraders.com and feel free to download our ebook or PDF where we talk about volume price analysis, because volume is the only leading indicator that matters. It matters, boys and girls. That's the only thing that matters, okay? So if you want to make sure you understand, you grasp our methodology at Hawkeye Traders, make sure to come to our website, HawkeyeTraders.com, and just scroll down a little bit, and you will have it right there. Just click to download and study. Once again, the only indicator that matters, volume price analysis. Now, let's take a look at what we have on the Hawkeye Scanner. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff, 224 buy signals. And of course, I'm going to lean to the side of the long because now we know the S&P, the Qs, of the NASDAQ, they left some terrific, they're distancing themselves from the lows, and that's very good. There's a lot of volume. Talking about more what I'm going to bring on these videos, we had a 2 billion entry in Amazon a day before the FOMC meeting. And last night, I think it was close to 400 million in the Qs, around 214, to be more specific, on the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, right? So judging for a few companies, if I take a look at a few of the companies I have, just going to move this a little bit. We got Apple, not a surprise, went all the way to 172, 173, bounced back 179. In the pre-market, same on Intel that I will talk about. Apple right now, it's trading at 180.48. That's a strong reversal. Once again, 172.31, the low reversal big time, closing at 179.30. What an amazing comeback in just a continuation of the trend. However, there's a few companies that I like that I talked about them before, and I think it's great that they come in this end of the day report. Number one, Applied Materials, ticker AMAT. That's the number one we're going to study. Another one that I think we have to look at, Intel. I got it on the screen. It's the bottom right there. Entry signal, roadkill volume, aggressive, long. It's on the 60 and the 240 chart. And finally, a few that I think I need to mention. You have Lowe's, you have Microchip, MCHP. But today, I want to take a look at one that is on the news, and that's Visa. We have roadkill volume, aggressive, daily and weekly. So those are the three companies that we're going to take a look. First ticker will be AMAT, second ticker INTC, and the final ticker will be Victory. That's right, that's Visa. Mainly because Visa and MasterCard, these companies, they're just trying to play catch up, and well, they have a lot of cash to do that. So they are looking to have more exposure to the crypto universe. So that's good for them. I'm trying to make a comeback. So let's start with AMAT. Judging at the daily, there's not much to see. The one thing that caught my eye is the fact that we had some volume coming in back during the first week of December, and now heatmap turned from bright red to dark red. That's good. And that means that the bearish or the pullback, it's fading, and that's our opportunity. At the same time, when I look at Hawkeye trend plus stops, definitely there's some support on the second level. Always remember, you have the first, the second level, that's like your sweet spot. And finally, you have the shaded area that will be back to 138. This is not the first time I talk about these tickers, not the first time it is on the Hawkeye Scanner. Definitely, this is something that you have to consider as part of the infrastructure bill in the US. So you definitely want to take a look at this. And the way I'm going to play at this particular company, if I look at what is happening on the option chain, first, let's take a look if I can bring something for December 31st, something that is worth. It's not close to the SDFs that I'm using on the Profit Flow group, but it's just to give an idea. Not much happening. I'm going to open all strikes and definitely not a lot of open interest. The one that might have something for us is the 160, so that will be our short term. We'll just open it. The 160 will be pay no more than $2.75 if you may. Open interest, it's the highest one, 633 contracts. That's doable. And yesterday we have 346 contracts in the volume times 200. That's sort of a little bit of money there. So, and the delta is 30, so that makes sense. If I look at AMAT, Applied Materials from the weekly, things are totally different. You can see, take a look at this, right? So take a look how it bounced just to the first level, and the low, it's higher than the previous low back on the first week in December. So at that time it was 140 the low. Now this low, it's somewhere around 144. It seems like little, it's just $4, but the fact is that it's just the way you start a new trend, it's bullish leg, because this is your lows are higher, and that's part of a bullish pattern. All right. Now, of course, you expect it to go back to 159. That will put it very close to in the money in that particular trade, and then you will look for a full rotation. A basic way to see this is always to talk about price rotation, and based on this area that is just very conservative, that's 17 points to the upside from 159, that will lead us to go no far from the 177 per share neighborhood. If that's the case, then at the same time, I want to look for a little bit more time, probably play the February 18 monthly expiration for the options. There we go, 2022. Of course, and let's see where we have the action. A lot of action happening on the 160, again, 1,000 contracts. This time I want to play more. I don't want to go too expensive with that range, so I will probably go and decide to play the 180. 180 right now, 605 contracts in the open interest. And let's open this contract. It will have more time. This is my second contract, and this is more than 60 days to expiration. 600. Let me see if I have it. This is the 160. There we go, 180. So open interest 605. Last probably available 140. Pay no more than 250 if necessary, and we have more time. So that's just pretty much the idea. The contract low 123. All right. So this is not a big difference. Now, once we have Applied Materials, another company that I think it's always back and forth, trying to make a comeback, trying to tell us that they want to make America great again, but at least on the microprocessor side of things, it's Intel. Terrible bearish on the weekly, monthly, potentially. We have a little bit of something here happening. I think like I'm taking risk, and I'm deviating a little bit of a methodology, because if I have time, I can do that. If you don't have time, I see no reasons. I might be a bounce in the short term, but the reality is that if I look at this on the side, let me take a look at Roadkill. The 1 month, I can do 1 month. If I take a look at this, definitely there is potential that we are basing here, and we may have a invert head and shoulders, and that potentially opens the door to go to 56. Now, Intel is a huge company, so it takes time and it needs a lot of money. I'm not saying that we didn't have that entry, particularly in this level, that we come to retest all that volume that came in sometime in February of this year. But it's a tricky company. I still like to play what it's on the scanner, so that's why I'm taking a look at this company. Now remember, I'm looking at the monthly, so we need time. To have time, and I'm just gonna do one play. We're gonna go to the option chain, and probably gonna take a look at March of 2022. That's how I feel. Don't feel, but see an opportunity for us. So that will be, again, March 18. That's the monthly expiration. I'm going to open all the strikes available. And if I take a look at this, the 65 is not bad. It has a huge open interest, 12,000 contracts, but I think we can do better. And I definitely don't want to stretch my luck, and I will go for the 60. It's 50 now. We go for the 60. We pay 64 cents according to the last one. And yes, we also have a lot of open interest. Now, it doesn't mean that it's a buy or sell open interest, but it does mean that there's a lot of action that you can find in that particular contract. So contract went up yesterday, 18%. It's not a surprise. Low volume. Delta is not bad at all. It's only 16. I remember. Delta is just the speed, actually the value that for every dollar the stock goes up, that's how the premium will update. So if it goes up $1, you add another 16 cents. But remember, you always have the gamma. Gamma is the speed and how the delta changes. It's just basic ideas just to give you a guidance. But can I think that in the next more than 60 days, this actually might be a 55 and we have a little bit of appreciation on the premium? Yeah, I do think so. Contract low, 40 cents. Intel, it wouldn't be a surprise with enough time. I think there's something that may happen here. Keep in mind we're on between the second and the third shaded area of Hawkeye Trends plus stops. So I definitely think we can come back and close all this liquidity at 56 and then make our way to 58. You don't need to be in the money to make money trading options. You just need the stock to actually make a move in some sort of like decent amount of time for you to have an acceleration on the premium, all right? And finally, I want to talk about another company. Final company I want to talk to all you guys today. It's Visa. They announced that apparently the board approved a $12 billion buyback program. Let me see if I can find some information on that buyback. And there you go, 14 hours ago, Visa adds $12 billion to share repurchase authorization. It's kind of funny when you say like authorization. You just need to buy back. You need to drive that liquidity. The last offer you have, same demand, artificially organically, you're pushing your stock up. Maybe 5 points, 5% for, or maybe 10%. It's just gonna depend, but the reality, that's just the way it works. And that's why a lot of companies like Microsoft, they're doing the same. Bed Bath & Beyond, same story. Some people even have this target of $100 on Bed Bath & Beyond. Nothing that will be a surprise if you see how Macy's and all these cyclical companies are making a comeback, especially with the big reopening, as now we have Pfizer saying that, okay, we give you 4 shots and you cure. What's happening with the next variant? Another shot? Well, just the way it is. But the reality is that there's a lot that we can squeeze from this one, especially as Visa has enough muscle to defend itself from other companies in the space of, for example, BNPL, buy now, pay later. And that's something to consider when it comes to these companies. Now, the most important is on the monthly, there's definitely an intention that this is a deep pullback coming from a strong recovery from COVID. Now, remember that every time you hear someone talking about, the recovery from 2020, everyone is recovering from 2020, so that's not a big deal. What happened next is the real clue. We have a pullback, pretty decent pullback. That's a 23% pullback, huge pullback for Visa, ticker V. But the most important, what it happened and how you have some confidence that you actually needed to buy this pullback, because it's not just to buy the dip, it's just to buy specific dips. In this case, if you have the tools, if you have the Hawkeye Trends Plus stops, then you know what's happening. You know where you are on between the second and the third shaded area. That is just the cue. It's signaling, hey, you have to take this dip. This is exactly what happens, and now we're in. Now, if you take a look at the weekly is still bearish. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's in front of the screen. I'm taking risk, and I'm very confident. And this is what I wanted to get to the point. You see now how on the daily it's shifting, and we have the green path that we have with Hawkeye Trends Plus stops, and we have the push higher. That's very important to me. And I totally think also that if you look at in this perspective of the bearish trend line, we already broke that one. And if you were to think about this one, you're probably going to find some resistance around 224, 230. And that shouldn't be a surprise. But the most important thing at the end of the day is the long-term view. When you look at a company like Visa, absolutely, there's something changing. They are changing, but they are facing a great opportunity. as they are increasing by 12 billion their repurchase program, and at the same time they're shifting, trying to be up to date with the technology that is out there. When you look at that, it's a company that's worth paying attention, which is not what PayPal is doing. PayPal is really bleeding this time. And although they offer and have some sense for investors that they want to go jump into the stock trading business, it's not that easy as it sounds. If not, just ask Robinhood. So if I were to pick one of the pack that still have a potential to survive, absolutely. And thanks to the Hawkeye Scanner, that will be Visa. So judging on what's happening, I'm looking for a potential move in the next couple of weeks. So first, I'm going to take my chances on a rebound, looking for a small, I'm not talking that it's going to be an amazing, but it's still a small Christmas rally. So what I will do is not take the next week because I have one less day to work with. So I will take December 31st and look as well to all the strikes and judge based on numbers, based on the data. If I pay attention to this, not much being happening for there to Visa. I don't want to stretch when I'm playing short term, so I'm going to take the 220. The stock right now, 212, not a big deal. So 220 will go for 143, and that's good because you don't want to always be too far off the money when you're in the short-term trades. We have on the open interest 1,724 contracts, delta 0.24, talking about 24 cents. And I'm looking to pay 143, pay no more of 175. I'm just gonna forget kind of to write it down, but pay no more of 175 per contract. Okay, that's I see where we should be working with, and that's just a way to have a notion of like, okay, if I pay 175, that's just what I need. Contract low 53 cents. Now, the second idea always in this time, I want to have a little bit more time. I want to take a look at February. What's happening with the monthly expiration February 18? And not much happening either. I got the 245. 245 has some interest there. I don't want to go about this one about $1, probably $1.50. Why? Because I have time. So I tend not to pay too much for my trades. In this case, the 245 open interest, 1,188 contracts, delta 10 cents. And I'm looking to pay on this one, it's 104, pay no more 150, all right? So if you can actually get it for 120, if that's the case, get it for 120. So that will be the 245 call monthly expiration for February, that's February 18. And that's my idea that I would like to follow on this company. Remember, everything that I'm looking at, they have different cases. Always look into the short term and the medium term for these opportunities. Now, if I were to judge what may happen with Visa next, I think we're looking to close the 250 liquidity back on July of 2021. If that's the case, what we're doing is to maximize this next 18% to the upside. Now, remember, a lot of these companies in 2022, they're going to be inflated. That doesn't mean that we're lead to a crash. They're inflated, and the main reason why they are just the way it is because everything happens so fast. There is a huge excessive liquidity in financial markets. A lot of people just tend to blame the US, but if you look at what's happening in Asia and everywhere else, India, United Kingdom, if you have liquidity, would you feel good to invest that in your own domestic market? Probably not. So you're looking for the market, number one, that is transparent, it's equalized, it can absorb your wealth, then that's the US stock market, and absolutely a way to play the market. If you're looking at 18%, for a rich guy, that makes sense. But for us retail, then how do we play that? And that's why I talk about options. In this case, a lot of the options is just judging what we have in front of the screen, looking into not to be too far out of the money, and understand when you're playing short term, a weekly or 2 weeks time, you have to have a sense of how you measure that. A lot of these plays are based on the analysis, understanding the volume, and of course that now we do understand what the Federal Reserve is saying. There's no surprises, and investors work better with certainty than with the uncertain. So we know what is happening. We know how we have to take this. Inflation is out there. Boys and girls, if you want to actually have an edge when you're trading, you absolutely want to take a look at our tools and how I use them. But especially if you want to enjoy the market that we have right now, you also deserve to have the tools and understand how you can maximize that. So you definitely need to improve your skills by picking up options at a time you're looking to invest, okay? So I'm gonna let you go with those 3 ideas. First one, AMAT, apply materials. Second idea, with time, I'm looking to make America great again with Intel, INTC. And finally, I want to take a look at a play that if I were to choose between MasterCard, any BNPL company, or PayPal, I definitely think Visa is doing the right things especially with this $12 billion repurchase program authorization. On top of that, the market is turning green. You want to take those opportunities and bank with everyone. Remember, don't be shy. Visit us at HawkeyeTraders.com and make sure to download your free ebook, Volume Price Analysis, because at the end of the day, volume is the only leading indicator. Thank you so much, guys, and I see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.